Well, yesterday was a good day. Actually, I spent half of it sleeping. Boy, I'm waking up at 2 in the morning. Did the same thing this morning and wasn't able to go back to sleep. But now I'm making sure my taxi hasn't arrived. But this morning I am going to go see the Last Supper. And then I'm going to go see the Castle Sforza, and a few other sites here in Milan before I start actually walking and getting into the interesting part of the trip. So for now, I'll talk to you when we get to our next location. So here I am outside the castle, waiting for my tour to begin. I went on a tour this morning because I think that's the only way you can get to see the Last Supper. So I'm waiting here, and I just thought I'd take a couple minutes. To take a quick video. Boy, it's just a beautiful morning. The weather is just perfect. The sun is shining. I guess it could get a little warm if you're out in the sun. Today I remembered my hat, which is a good thing. So pretty soon our tour should start, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing the Last Supper. So we'll see how today goes.
So, you have seen the big square, the big monument.
This is the Pietà by Michelangelo. It is one of three that he did throughout his life. The first he made when he was in his 20s, when he was quite young. It was by far the most famous of the three, and you can see it currently at St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. The second, which is known as the Florentine Pietà, is housed in, as you would guess it, Florence in the Museo dell'Opera Duomo. It's an unfinished work that the artist apparently was very frustrated with, and at one point he attempted to destroy it. This work here was his last sculpture. It was the last thing he had ever worked on. And it shows the Virgin, the Blessed Mother, holding Christ and trying to support his body as he's taken off the cross. As you look at it, you'll see that he had made several attempts at different versions. Here you see the arm of Christ, and he didn't like it, so he went on. The arm is now disassociated with the rest of the sculpture. But as you look at this, you see how the strategies that he used in creating or turning a piece of stone into something that's art. Here you see a design on the top of the ceiling. It's just a fresco. Other statuary that you'll find in the castle. This is the outside courtyard, which is a copse of trees. Nice.
Here inside, it's closed because
What you see here are the gardens that you pass through to get to the Last Supper. As you probably know, the Last Supper is a fresco, meaning that it was painted onto the white plaster of the walls. Now, because it's painted into the white plaster, the wall, it can't be moved, it's part of the wall, and also it's very susceptible to environmental conditions. So to get to the Last Supper, you have to pass through a series of air chambers, if you will, and they have glass walls that look out onto these lovely gardens, and they really are pretty. But you pass through these as you walk along to get into the Last Supper, where you can view it safely and where the environment won't damage the fresco itself. Now, so many things have been said about the Last Supper that there really isn't a lot I can tell you that you probably don't already know. But I think two things are interesting. First of all, if you look under Jesus there, it looks like a doorway, and that's because it is. When the painting or when the fresco was painted, there was a kitchen on the other side of the wall, and the Last Supper was part of the dining room for the friars. And what they used to have to do is they'd have to leave the kitchen, go outside, and then come back into the dining room. Until finally somebody said, hey, why don't we just cut a door in the wall? Unfortunately, this was done after the fresco was painted. So it kind of says that I don't think they valued it, at least in those days, quite as much as we do now. However, by the time World War II came along, they really understood what they had. And to protect the painting during the bombings, they put all sorts of sandbags all around the thing to make sure it wouldn't get damaged. And then they reinforced those sandbags with wooden walls just to make sure that the thing wouldn't get damaged. And if you look at it, it really didn't get damaged much by the bombs, but everything else around it was just massacred. So thankfully, this has made it through World War II, and we can still enjoy it today. Now, there's another thing about the fresco is that in those days they really didn't allow painters to put their name to a work. And this is because, well, if I commissioned it, it's mine, so why is your name on it? So what Da Vinci did was in the lower right-hand corner, he took the tablecloth and he tied it into a knot. And this knot was specific to him. And if you look here at the knot, you'll see it's a very specific kind of knot. It's in many of his other designs, and you'll see it around Milan. So this is kind of interesting that it was his way of kind of putting his mark on the painting so that people would know this was done by him. And so now through the ages, people can look at that knot and say, hey, Da Vinci painted this thing. So if you're ever in Milan and you want to see the Last Supper, there it is. Now, here I ended my day in front of the Castle Sforza again, and this is a statue of Giuseppe Garibaldi.